everyone, and welcome to Exhale with Chelsea. I am Chelsea. I am a life coach and writer. If you are new here, I am the motivational friend. Today I wanted to talk about separating goals from your inspiration. It's natural to see things, people, ideas, products, anything, and be inspired to move or to set a goal or to create. But it's unrealistic to see yourself or your product or your outcome as the initial inspiration. So I wanted to talk about that today. The first thing that comes to mind, first example I could say is before and after pictures. So say your goal is to lose weight and you see people online, your fitness goals, your fitness gurus, your celebrity makeovers, your tea sellers, whoever, and they're doing before and after pictures, and you're looking at yourself and you're saying, well, I'm doing the same thing, but I don't look like them, or like, let's say Amber Riley. Okay, Amber Riley has a bomb body, okay? She's working out at home, she's slimming down, but it's unrealistic of me to think that I can do the exact same things as her and look exactly like her. We're two different people, we're two different women, we're born into two different and completely unique bodies. And so I can follow her trainer though, I can purchase some of the same tools, and I can make a more realistic goal of just being healthy and being body positive for myself. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to touch on today. Number one, you need to separate your goal from your inspiration. Number two, you don't want your inspiration to be your goal, if that makes sense. Say you're inspired by a product you see in your timeline and you think, okay, hey, I'm pretty talented in the area. I can produce that product, or I can do the same thing. I know people in my community who need that offering and don't have access to it. I can provide that same thing. But you don't want to make that same thing. You don't want to provide that same thing, because inspiration and imitation are not the same. A person can move you to action, but you don't need their tools, you don't need their language, you don't need their step-by-step plan to be successful. Like, I always think about how women are constantly asking Sierra for her specific prayer to get Russell. Sis, she can tell you whatever she want to tell you because she got her man. She could tell you the basis of it. She could tell you what happened before she prayed the prayer, what happened after, how she prayed it, what she was doing when she was praying. She can tell you all of that, but you will never get the word for word prayer. You will never get the state of her heart. You will never get any of that. You won't ever get her relationship with God, because the prayer was unique. It was based on her heart, her life, and her relationship with God. And so imitation is not always good. You don't want to imitate. Being inspired means being moved, feeling encouraged. It means being motivated to move. It means being driven to create, to come up with something for yourself, to change, to make a better move, to make a better decision. It means wanting and desiring to do something different, new, better, etc. It's not copying. It's not doing the exact same thing that the person before me did. So inspiration and imitation are not the same. I think about copyright infringement. Imitation ain't good, sweetie. Like, think about, and I hate to even just throw her under the bus because I love her, even though y'all always hating on her. B. Simone. Her journal was ripped to shreds because whoever she paid to do it stole from a whole bunch of independent creatives. And that is the problem with imitating people rather than being inspired by them. You run into infringement laws. You end up getting botched surgeries. I think about people who want bodies just like celebrities, just like the Kardashians, and then they come out with bruised bodies. They come out with deformed bodies, botched surgeries. Like, that's not it. And then you want to think about your image. What do you want to promote? Is the person who inspired you on the same alignment as you? Like, they may have inspired you, but you guys don't have the same purpose. You're not walking, moving, creating with the same intentions. And then you want to think about integrity. Integrity is important. You want to think about, am I being honest in this? If I imitate someone, am I being honest about what I want and what I'm providing and what it is that I'm doing and why I'm doing it? Am I being honest? If I imitate someone, am I being truthful about my offering? You want to think about your image and your integrity, and you want to think about your why and your inspiration. Doesn't always align with that, but it can encourage you to create something that does, if that makes sense. And also, just when it comes to inspiration, you have to recognize and have confidence in your unique ability to do things. That's the first step towards separating inspiration from outcome. Recognizing and having confidence in the uniqueness of you. You might have similar gifts, but they definitely come in separate packaging. You are not the same as the person who inspired you. Your product won't be the same as the product that inspired you. Your program won't be the same as the program that inspired you, but it will be similar. It can be similar, but it won't be the exact same because it's going to come in two separate packagings. It's going to come with two separate purposes. It's going to come with two separate intentions. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never going to be the same as anybody else's because you are unique. And so once you put your name on something, it's attached to your identity and that goes back to image. It's attached to who you are and why you're here on this earth. And so you don't want to imitate anyone because then you make your uniqueness small. You're shrinking yourself by intimidating someone else. You take away from your ability to be big, to be grand, to do something that can change this. And also, your unique experience can bring a totally different persona to a table full of uniformity. Thinking about that quote that's about the bread aisle. All these different all these different bread brands. Wonder, Sara Lee, them the only two I think of. But it's so many. When you walk down the aisle, you get to choose whichever one you feel comfortable eating, and the one that stands out to you the most, the one that looks the healthiest, the one that looks like it tastes the best, the one that looks the freshest. Like, it's so many options, right? But you're picking the one that is unique and the one that stands out at the table or at the counter or on the shelf. So think about that when you get inspired to create something, or when you get inspired to do something, or when you get inspired to move, or just do something in general that is being done already. You bring a certain persona, you bring a unique element to it. And so you don't want to imitate. You don't want what's your outcome or your creation or your product. You don't want your end or your grand presentation to look exactly like what inspired you. You wanted it to be unique to who you are. And then you are not your inspiration. I want to say this again. You are not your inspiration. You are just inspired. Again, you are not your inspiration. You're just inspired. And so you don't have to be what inspired you. You just have to move as you are inspired. You just have to go and get that idea out on paper. Go and keep sticky notes, keep notebooks, jot down things as you are inspired, but don't try to become your inspiration, because that's just one facet of them that you've seen, or of the product that you've seen. Or somebody could be in the beginning stages, and here you are trying to imitate everything they've done. You don't know what it took for them to get there. You don't know what it looks like behind the scenes. And so be inspired, but don't become your inspiration. That is all I had to say today. I want it to be known that you don't have to become your inspiration. You just have to do what you've been inspired to do. Imitate. You don't have to mock. You don't have to follow anybody's rules but your own. but you can take inspiration and you can go and you can build something that is unique and that is perfectly designed for you and the intentions that you have and the offering that you have for this world. That's all for me today. You guys make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or if you feel like there were some things that were said that, you know, really moved you. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that little notification bell so that you can get all the updates as far as videos.